Mario Kart World, the Switch 2 standalone first-party launch title and the biggest addition to the Mario Kart series yet. But it's got some big problems. Mario Kart and I go way back, all the way back to 2008, with Mario Kart Wii being the very first video game that I ever played. And I've gotten around to playing every other Mario Kart game since. The year is now 2025, and I've been looking for an escape from the horrors of adulthood. When I heard Nintendo was releasing the sequel to my favorite console with a brand new Mario Kart, like, come on, how could I not pre-order it? Now that I got my hands on it and I've clocked in a respectable 80 hours in the game, I have some thoughts. In this video, I wanted to talk about all of my favorite and not so favorite things about Mario Kart World and whether the changes that it brings make sense or just don't. First of all, is the game fun? I mean, yeah, it's Mario Kart. It shouldn't come as a shock that this game is an absolute blast. Zipping around and committing vehicular manslaughter has never been more intense. This is thanks to the new addition of 24 total racers. This makes the overall Mario Kart experience more exhilarating and terrifying. Yes, it's a bit overwhelming at times, but this change to more players seems to balance itself out pretty well, and in a way comes with a benefit. Just think you used to get 12th place in Mario Kart and go, oh great, I guess I'm the complete worst ever. But now you get 12th place, it's like, okay, at least there's a dozen other people that are worse than me at the game. If I ever get 24th place, I'm uninstalling. What excited me most about Mario Kart World was definitely the new game mechanics, that being rail grinding and wall riding. These techniques are achieved through charging a neutral drift, then holding a direction when you release it. I'm super happy that something as simple as wall riding, specifically wall jumping, was added. You know, since Mario wall jumps. These techniques are great additions to the Mario Kart formula, and super satisfying to pull off. I also love how you can trick multiple times in the air. In my previous video, I dubbed this technique trick maxing. However, there's no real speed advantage to tricking more than once. It's also not faster to do a neutral trick landing on nothing. Even in the water, where it looks like you get this little extra boost from doing a neutral trick, nope, it's just as fast as driving normally. But tricking multiple times in the air while holding a direction is great for positioning yourself, and it's super helpful for landing on grind rails or lining up shortcuts. The main tracks themselves have implemented many sections that encourage the use of these new movement mechanics and have allowed people to get really creative with coming up with faster routes. Utilizing the new movement mechanics are what I believe to be the most fun parts of this game. I mean, come on, look at these speedruns, they go absolutely crazy. As far as how well they're utilized outside the main tracks, we'll talk about that later. What makes Mario Kart Mario Kart? Bullshit items, of course. You ever wonder what it's like to go to war? This is as close as Rated E will get. Despite how chaotic the items are, they feel relatively balanced as far as the offensive items are concerned. We've got a wide variety of items in this game, with most returning from Mario Kart 8, as well as a handful of new additions, the Hammer, Ice Flower, and Hey Kamek! We'll talk about you later. However, one change from Mario Kart World that makes the items far less annoying is the change of your momentum after being hit. Most Mario Kart games will have your character come to a complete stop after getting hit by an item. Mario Kart World seems to have a physics system similar to Double Dash, where you tumble whilst maintaining a bit of forward momentum. This makes it so that you're not completely out of the race after you've just been pelted by 3 red shells. Fun fact, if you angle your camera, you can actually throw items sideways in this game. I don't know, the thought of playing Mario Kart Claw is giving me carpal tunnel. But hey, now items are automatically held behind you without having to press the R button. Nintendo, my carpal tunnel thanks you. New to the racing cast of items is the Feather. It's pretty useful for dodging most projectiles. No, you can't use it to dodge the blue shell, but the Feather jumps really high and is super useful for jumping over gaps and creating your own shortcuts when the tracks allow it. I say allow it because Lakitu really loves to ruin your fun in this game. No. Returning items that used to be the best in Mario Kart 8, the Bullet Bill and Star, feel way slower now. Maybe this was an attempt to balance them since they were both so good in Mario Kart 8, but I'm not sure if I like this change. One change that I do appreciate about the Bullet Bill is how it kind of knocks you to the side instead of completely obliterating you if you're in its path. Items with 24 players is hell as it is. Back again from Mario Kart 8 we have the Boo, and he feels even more annoying in this game. The Boo spawns much more frequently than it did in Mario Kart 8. I swear it spawns once or even twice a game on me if I front run. It does, however, have a slightly smaller invincibility window compared to Mario Kart 8. The difference is by about 3 seconds, so it's technically worse in this game, right? I don't know, if only there was a way I could turn it off, And now for the best items in Mario Kart World. Drumroll, please. The mushrooms. those being the normal reds, the mega, and the golden. The mushrooms in this game feel much faster compared to previous games. You get mushrooms a lot, and they're great for covering gaps in the off-road, as well as mud or even lava sections. Obviously the gold mushroom is the best of the bunch, but my favorite is the mega mushroom. It feels much more satisfying to use compared to how it was in Mario Kart Wii. Getting behind a pack of players and then just letting it rip and pile driving through all of them, oh, breathtaking. And it plays the Super Mario World squish sound effect when you drive over somebody. It kind of makes up for the fact that there's no more Mega Mushroom song. And of course the blue shell is still as evil as ever. Next up I want to talk about what I feel is Mario Kart World's strongest quality. Presentation! Despite the game's art style being a hybrid of the gorgeous detail of Mario Kart 8 and the somewhat plasticky feel of Mario Kart Tour, this game is absolutely gorgeous. The colors pop and are super vibrant, the courses and characters are filled with detail and charm, the karts and characters get dirtied by their environments, and look, you can brake and drive and make pretty little designs on the ground. Aww. I'm a big fan of the more classic style Mario Kart font, and the new placement numbers are really pretty. And I love the silly onomatopoeias for the boom and kaboom! The lightning blacks out the screen and it starts raining. Metal as hell. The sound effects are also super crisp in this game. From the hum of shells whizzing by, again the Mega Mushroom squish, and the Star Song is now a dance party. And speaking of the music, oh my gosh, the music! Arguably the best value for your $80. As far as every original track I've heard, they've all been pretty solid, but where I'm most excited is about all of the brand new remixes of iconic Mario songs. There's songs from nearly every single Mario game, as well as a few other IPs like Donkey Kong and WarioWare. It is mind-boggling to think about how much music is in this game. I've played for hours, and I've probably only heard half of the soundtrack. There are even multiple versions of the same song. Like take for example the main theme of Mario 64, there's both a big band version as well as a Latin guitar version. There is such a wide variety of music in this game, from high energy go 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 to laid back and soothing. Jazz dire dire docks, but the chorus is a saxophone. A hard rock cover of buoy based Galaxy. This sounds like it belongs in Sonic Adventure 2. Dubstep Baby Park. Need I say more? This is definitely my new favorite video game OST. If you are a fan of Mario, this soundtrack is guaranteed to have something for you. Nintendo, please add a music player, please. Last aesthetic piece in this game I will praise is the animations. Oh boy, the animations in this game are good. Tires seamlessly get bigger as you go onto the off-road. Getting hit and tumbling is fluid and often pretty silly. I can't get too mad when I get hit and I know that things like this are possible. Also, the animation where you throw the blue shell, you just grab that shit and just chuck it, yeah! And the character animations are on the top of their game. The characters are so expressive. There's lots of unique poses and reactions to things that are happening in the game. And while we're here, let's talk about the characters. Okay, first of all, what is this? This is an absolute mess. What was wrong with this? Or this? Nintendo, please stop giving us long and unnecessary menus. All the mainstay characters are here. You got your Marios, your Yoshis. Okay, he was in Smash, that makes sense. What? I'll be real, I think it's hilarious that they added so many characters. So many awesome little guys and great representation of Mario enemies we don't normally get. I've heard discourse on this topic, but I was getting really tired of the Koopalings. However, you know who wasn't added back as a character? Kamek! That silly little wizard guy. Since he's been given the item treatment, now he's the only way you can unlock the NPC characters. Unlocking some characters is entirely dependent on Kamek being activated in specific regions for the said specific characters. Kamek is a pretty rare spawn, so not only do you have to be lucky enough for it to spawn, you need to be ahead of whoever activated the item. This unfortunately means the most efficient way of unlocking characters is through item farming. It took days of repeating this process to unlock all of the NPC characters. It took a day alone of grinding to unlock my boy Cataquack. Not because I couldn't pull the Kamek item, but because the characters that you transform into are also random, and it kept on giving me Spike! This is by far the worst method of unlocking characters in Mario Kart history. It's a gamble on top of a gamble. There's gonna be somebody that picks up this game and never know that Coin Coffer is a playable character. I envy them. Anyway, costumes. The only redeeming quality of Mario Kart Tour. I love the costumes, and thankfully they're much easier to unlock. You just drive around the world and get region-specific Happy Meals. Some costumes even come with their own unique trick animation to match with their outfit. I have one small issue. Why are there an uneven number of costumes? Like, I get it, Mario's the main guy, so sure, he can have 10 costumes, but why do characters like Pauline and Donkey Kong have 1? Donkey Kong especially doesn't deserve this underrepresentation when frickin' baby Rosalina has, what, 4? She shouldn't even be behind the wheel! Nintendo, you better be holding out on these two because you're gonna add costumes from DK Bonanza. Right? Next, I want to talk about Mario Kart World's key gimmick. Can you guess what it is? That's right! It's the menu! See? Super unique, am I right? No, it's the open world. Nintendo attempted the very daunting task of creating a seamlessly connected Mario Kart World with different biomes, collectibles, and challenges. It is by definition a cohesive world, and you will need to spend hours in it if you want to uncover all of its secrets. Like here in Crown City, there's all these big billboards with lots of ads, as well as some graffiti underneath the sewage system. There's even a cute little Toad residential area that's just north of Peach's Stadium for you to terrorize. As for the challenges, I have some mixed feelings. Some felt recycled and bland, while others were pretty engaging and felt really thought out and challenging. Some even taking me more than a few attempts to complete. There's unfortunately no way to track what collectibles you have gotten aside from the little counter on the side of the map and the question block panels. Meaning there's no way to see what you've already completed unless you physically go back. Oh, and the rewards for these challenges? Do you get new characters or card unlocks? Stickers. That's it. Yes, you unlock carts by collecting coins, but you can do that by playing the normal mode. I'll admit that of my playtime in this game, maybe 25% of it was spent in the open world. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of all the things that there are to do in this world. But because there's really no incentivization to do any of the challenges other than just to do them, I really haven't found myself coming back. Despite that, free roam is a great change of pace in between the online races, and it is nice to leisurely drive around after I've spent all my energy getting blown up. But when I am in the mood for free roam, it is perfect for late at night when I'm bored and want to listen to all the awesome music that this game has to offer. It definitely makes a good road trip playlist. But yeah, the overall package of free roam does feel a bit half-baked. It's super disappointing that there was no story mode, or boss battles, or any rewards for exploring that were better than just stickers. Running over pedestrians and into cars is fun at least. Now that I've talked about the world itself, let's talk about Mario Kart World's game modes. Starting out with the main one being Grand Prix. You boot it up, you get this cute little cutscene with all the courses showing what you get to look forward to, and it even has a cute little sound effect depending on the cup. What's not so cool is that you're forced to drive to each location. What's the problem with this? Isn't that literally the whole gimmick of the game? Unfortunately, these in-between sections or intermissions are far less interesting to race on compared to the normal tracks. This is due to lots of, yes, driving straight, and very few trick opportunities like walls or grind rails. Sometimes the grind rails that are included are slower than just driving normally. And it feels like the only trick opportunities that you do get are when you're holding straight. Like take for example this section. Ooh, look how engaging and exciting it is. I've just been spamming the R button. After completing the said intermission tracks, you only get to race a single lap on the track you're actually traveling to. This makes sense pacing-wise, but honestly, if I had the choice, I'd do the 3 laps on top of the long track, just because the tracks themselves are that much more fun. I, as well as some other online creators, share the opinion that Nintendo should have included a classic mode for Grand Prix, where you can skip the in-between sections and just race on the courses themselves. But no biggie, right? You can just play Versus mode and play the tracks by themselves in any order you want, you complaining asshole. You know where you can't do that? The online mode! What the f*** are we doing, Nintendo? Well, Mario Kart 8 had worldwide, regional, and tournament settings so you could filter what game mode and speed you wanted to race on. Mario Kart World only has worldwide, and the Versus mode is only connected tracks. You are limited by connection and customization. Maybe once in a blue moon there's one standalone track, but 99% of the time you get 3 choices of places to travel to. The way people got around this was to vote for random, which guaranteed a normal track and quickly became the norm online. And Nintendo saw what we were doing and said, oh, it's not random enough. Let's fix it. Nintendo issued their 1.1.2 update that added intermissions to the random pool. Yeah, this shit is ruined. And the solution is so simple. Just add another mode with just the tracks. Nintendo, stop telling me how I want to play the game! Massive shoutouts to the people behind the Mario Kart World Discord, where tons of like-minded players are hosting their own lobbies of 3-lap races. You can even choose any track you want instead of just the 3 options that were normally given. Thanks to this, Mario Kart World Online isn't completely dead while we wait for Nintendo to get their act together. Anyways, let's say you're somebody that actually wants to play the in-between tracks. Then I'd recommend Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is Mario Kart's shiny new mode where you race for your survival, with the bottom 4 racers being eliminated at each checkpoint. This is by far the most anxiety-inducing yet addicting part of this game. Racing for elimination is a great way to keep the race engaging the entire way through. I really like how right before you reach a checkpoint, you can no longer see your placement in the race. This makes the seconds right before you make it super intense and can lead to funny moments like this. Yes! No! What? My problem with this mode stems back once again to the open world and the intermission tracks being uninteresting to race on. Because there's nothing interesting happening on the track, the way that you pass people for the most part is dependent entirely upon what items you get. Hey, remember when I said the mushrooms are the best item in the game? The most impactful and surefire way to win in Knockout Tour is not by outskilling your opponents with cool techniques or by hitting them with offensive items. It's by driving through the off-road sections with mushrooms. And honestly, you really don't even have to try until right before the checkpoint. Just get a good item and wait, and then here comes the checkpoint. Zoom! Want to win in Knockout Tour? Bagging is the meta. And I blame the uninteresting track design. It also really doesn't help that Nintendo opted for these wide-ass tracks. I understand that they have to accommodate for 24 players, so bigger tracks are necessary. What makes it even more criminal is that there's no 200cc! The tracks are designed with these wide turns and straightaways, which would have made too much sense for a faster speed. When asked about 200cc, what did Nintendo say? Oh, well, we'll consider it for a future update. Oh, yeah, okay. How about you consider this? Okay, so maybe the intermission sections aren't for me. Let's go do some other modes. Oh, look, they ruined battle mode again. Just like on Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, they're reusing race courses for battle mode. These tracks aren't as bad as it was on the Wii U, but these sections are way too big to keep it entertaining. Especially when we're locked on a 3-minute timer! It is so disappointing that we didn't get any new battle tracks that properly utilize the new mechanics. Like, why didn't we get a remake of Block Fortress with new grind rails connecting each of the sections? Especially now that we have 24 players, imagine 4 teams each defending a section of the fortress. It would have been awesome! You know what would have been the perfect battle course? A skate park! Also, rest in peace, Renegade Roundup, Bob-omb Blast, and Shine Thief. The only positive thing I'll say about the battle mode is once you lose all your balloons, you are out, just like in the old Mario Kart games. Speaking of item BS, there's no more custom items in Versus mode. Why? I feel like that's not too hard to ask for, right? Oh, but Nick, if they added them in, it would be super easy to unlock all the characters because you could use Kamek as an item. Good! That system was bullshit anyways! Okay, time to be positive. Here are my top 3 last-minute cool additions of Mario Kart World. Number 3. You can pause the game before the countdown timer is complete, whereas in Mario Kart 8 you couldn't. Number 2. The technique from Mario Kart Wii, where if you time A right as Lakitu drops you, you get a little boost, now with a much more lenient timer. You kids have it too easy. Number 1. The rewind feature. Great for learning how to do tricks and navigating the open world, as well as this. You can't use rewind online or in multiplayer, so anyone that got butthurt about it quote-unquote breaking the game is missing the point of the feature. This last segment will probably be what ends up either getting me cancelled or crucified, but here it goes. I don't like the new Rainbow Road. I know, I sound like a crazy person. How can you not like the best course in the game? Don't get me wrong, this track is frickin' gorgeous. It is without a doubt the most visually and aesthetically pleasing and diverse Rainbow Road to date. I am a huge fan of the different environments, the first being this pretty stained glass in a cloudy sky, the second with these pretty crystals in the water and oh my gosh, the Lumas, the third going to frickin' space. I know that's not new for Rainbow Road, but seeing the transition into space is breathtaking. And then of course the ending is literal eye crack. Here's my problem. Why is it that in the new Mario Kart game that introduced these revolutionary new techniques that the Rainbow Road, the magnum opus of the game, there is not a single grind rail or opportunity for wall riding? This is so lame. I guess I got my expectations too high, but I was really hoping for a Rainbow Road that came with a high skill gap. Then comes my other issue. The track is too damn easy. Rainbow Road is notorious for being the hard map. I understand Nintendo makes baby games for babies, but come on! I grew up on Mario Kart Wii. There is no reason the new generation should get off so easy when I had to endure the horrors of Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. Rated E for everyone, because everyone must suffer! Anyways, that's Mario Kart World. Credits roll. It's over. If I was to give Mario Kart World a rating, right now I'm at a 7.5 out of 10. I know Nintendo's probably never going to add more interesting track design or trick opportunities to the intermission track, so whatever. But if they were to add different online modes, fix the battle mode, and add 200cc, it would probably be my favorite Mario Kart. That being said, is the game worth $80? No. If Nintendo's going to justify charging $80, this needs to be the definitive Mario Kart experience. Yet it's missing simple features that were in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I got the Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle, so if you're looking to get this game at a slightly lower price, you probably want to get the bundle soon, because after September, the bundle is gone. But don't let FOMO drive your purchase. If you're still on the fence, I recommend waiting until Nintendo releases more updates for the game and it feels more complete. Mario Kart World is a great game. It's just so close to being an excellent game, it hurts. But I can't be too mad. They added the penguin! I love the penguin! Now I can recreate my favorite scene from Mario 64! Thanks so much for watching. It took a long time to put this video together, so a like and a sub would go a long way. Let me know what you think of Mario Kart World in the comments. Okay, bye-bye.